Hey guys, the Barco watch may finally have hit an impasse. Also, we reflect on the USL team name reveal, that and much more coming up.
Welcome to the show, 5 Stripe fam. I'm AJ, this is Tanner McLeod. Before we get into it, become a part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button. So we're going to do something a little different this week, where essentially we're going to talk a little bit more freely. It's going to be a little bit more relaxed, and so, hope you guys enjoy it. Let us know what you guys think of it, and we might continue it in the future. So first up, our schedule reveal. This was last week that we found out the 2018 schedule. Myself and Jessica already talked about it, but Tanner, you haven't given your thoughts on the schedule yet. So
I'm pretty stoked. I am excited about the Cascadia Cup teams really coming here because United went out west last season, so I really enjoy watching us play. Vancouver, Seattle.
Those are fun
Portland.
teams.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's going to be cool that Portland will come here and play Nagby here, which I think is actually going to be better for him because having to go back to Portland to play, that would have been tough for him. So the fact that it'll be a home game. Orlando away twice, I'd prefer obviously to here twice, but it's got to rotate. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's going to be easier to hate them now that they have Sasha Kleiston because that guy's a wanker.
Yeah,
but
because between that fight last year in the playoffs, between Kleiston and Josie Altidore, I didn't know who to root for.
I wish they would have just both slipped and fell, and Josie would have missed, obviously, because that's all he does. But I mean, I also 2 games against DC here, so hopefully we can finally beat them because that still just hurts my brain that 3 L's last year.
Yeah.
And then obviously still the home and home with Toronto. I think that's the measuring stick, so I look forward to playing them. So 2 points, sharing the difference last year. So hopefully, if Barco Watch can find a conclusion and either he signs or he doesn't, we can improve so we can see how we stack up because I think they are still the class of the MLS. So.
Absolutely, yeah. They won the treble last year, so it's
treble.
Yeah,
Canadian Cup or whatever.
Yeah, but it's still a treble.
Treble light.
And so either way, they are the measuring stick, and we have to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I want to actually win a realistic treble, and I want to be the first MLS team to win the
the
CONCACAF,
U.S. domestic zone.
The CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because no other team has done that, and it's just like the style that they play. Hopefully in a few years that could be something that we could do. And it's like the only way you're going to see that is by playing the good teams consistently, by improving. And what's crazy to me, I had no idea about this. I guess it's because the U.S. men's national team's awful and they're not going to the World Cup. They just said, forget it, we're playing through the World Cup. Which I thought they'd take a break, and they're just like, nope, don't care, playing through the World Cup.
There's like a week break, really, pretty much,
and they're just like, don't care, which is good because. Does not affect United at all. So I don't care, but I had no idea.
Which is good and bad.
Well, yeah, I mean,
we have some Argentinian players that maybe in a really blue moon if they get called up.
I mean, maybe if Villalba just starts banging in just goals left, right, and center,
but
and they're all screamers.
Getting past those forwards, no, absolutely. I'm thinking more so LGP maybe if they're kind of short on some center backs.
They've never been great on defense. I mean, Mascherano is old as a dinosaur now.
Exactly,
so,
and Otamendi is always about to give up
a red card waiting to happen. You never know watching him play. It still blows my mind how City have won so many games when you have players like him at the back, and it's just genuinely have no idea what's coming from that guy. Him and David Luiz are 2 of the defenders that I hate the most, but you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. They could be sent off, or they could have an amazing game where they're stopping everything.
But I mean, why wouldn't you give LGP a shout over a guy like Otamendi? I mean,
he's not in the same class, but in terms of somebody as cover.
I mean,
possibly.
Or what? Marcus Rojo, who plays for Man United. That guy's also a walking. Everyone with Argentina is a walking red card. Except,
I think that's maybe
so
the thing.
LGP, I guess.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah. And so, with the report that came out over the weekend, Carlos Carmona and Chile's Colo Colo, there was a tweet that mentioned that we would find out if Carmona would be a Colo Colo player on Monday.
It's not Monday, by the way.
Yeah, we're recording this on a Thursday, and we still haven't found out if he's a Colo Colo player.
As to my knowledge, as of now, he still plays for Atlanta United.
Exactly. And it's been kind of a back and forth, people in Chile really want him to go there. But it's on the flip side, everything from our end, they've mentioned he's not going anywhere. Like,
I don't get
Atlanta
it.
United
I
has just flat out denied it.
I don't get it. I mean, I understand why he wants to go back. Just right now, unless you cannot afford him, which to my knowledge they can.
Yeah.
I don't see why you sell him or why you let him be like, look, give us another year. We're trying to win the cup this year. We're trying to win something this year.
Yeah.
Go back next year. We'll let you go. It's like, you know, you can have your kid, you can move your kid. It's like your kid isn't going to school when they're like 6 months old. So
yeah, exactly.
Like if you want to raise them, I completely understand that and I respect that.
In like 3 or 4 years, that's
but like
fine.
if it's a baby, they don't really care. So I'd rather see him here because he is such a class midfielder and he's such an integral part of the team and we love him. I mean, he's a fantastic player for this team and I can't say that enough. I really enjoy watching him go into tackles and destroy people.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that'd be a big loss, especially now.
Yeah.
If they lost him.
Yeah, because we still have a little bit of time. It's like a month and a half possibly, but that's still not an incredible amount of time that we have to, find somebody else of his ilk that came on a free.
Yeah, exactly.
And costs as much as he does, and with the ability and, knowing how this team plays as well. Like, that's super important.
I mean, he's an anchor in the middle of that midfield, and he's going to do the dirty work that allows Nagy to create. I still can't believe we have Nagy, by the way.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
It's
like he's the guy who's going to allow him to go forward and play all his passes into space and link up and not have to worry about defending as much because he knows as soon as the ball goes behind him that there's probably going to be Carlos Carmona clattering into somebody, taking the ball off of them and getting the ball back to United.
Exactly.
And so I'm sorry, Colo, but I never heard of them before this rumor, so it's like I don't think they're still big enough. I mean, I think United are a big
they're a big team in Chile. So
but it's like at the same time, it's like I still think he has
one of the biggest, apparently the biggest. So.
More to do here, and maybe he can be their captain when he goes back. But I think there's still things to do at this stage, which is still a step up from where he'd be if he went back.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes, we'd be sad to see him
Very
go.
Much.
But
we wish him the best, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want him to go.
And I don't think this is actually happening. But if it does, then it does. And so, in other news, we found out this week that play-by-play announcer Alan Green, a very historic English-British announcer, is not going to be calling games for Atlanta United in 2018, essentially because of our success. We've pretty much going to be on nationally televised broadcasts more often, and pretty much takes him away.
League, right?
Tied for most in the league, 16 with LAFC, and so that takes away from the broadcast that he would be a part of. And with that, he doesn't think that it'd be worth it to come, here for just like probably a dozen games. And so he's moved on. We bid him adieu. He did pretty well.
Yeah, actually, I kind of liked him. He was. I thought it's always nice hearing a British person call football. So I don't know, there's something about it that makes it just nicer. But I liked him. I thought he was very intellectual, and he gave some good commentary, and he did some good stuff for the games I couldn't go to or that were on TV. And I'll wish him the best, but I mean, it's a commentator. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those, if you're watching from home, then you might miss him a little bit more. We personally were at the games a whole lot more, so
it's hard to affect me if I'm not watching.
we're not exactly listening to him on a regular basis.
But from what I heard from friends, they liked him. I mean, he was a very likable personality. So.
Yeah. And I mean, there were some haters, and with those people.
Look, it wasn't Gus Johnson trying to call soccer, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah. I mean, he knew his stuff, but in terms of Atlanta United players, and to be fair, I mean, it's a new team, it's new players,
and
it's
a new league that they never played in.
Exactly.
So,
I'll always remember he mispronounced Almiron, and it kind of bugged me a little bit, but he got he got it right later on. It's okay, and we wish him well.
Absolutely.
And if there's a replacement, hopefully it's somebody that knows the team, maybe a Dan Gargan or someone like of that ilk.
Also, this week, Atlanta United has announced that 4 games will be full capacity for this coming season. I think we can do more, but I'm cool with 4 just to work it in and don't overkill it.
I think it's a good starter of how many games would be at max capacity for the Benz. It's And it's that way because, you know, if you're looking through it, it's the DC game to start off the season. So there's, you know, a lot of demand there.
Fair enough. First game, also, I hate DC.
Yeah, a little bit of the World Cup break afterwards. So that's the Seattle Sounders game.
Oh, yeah. I think Seattle might travel pretty well for that. I mean, I feel like there's Sounders fans everywhere. So I think they take that opportunity to try to pop up and watch a game.
Right. And then it's the Real Salt Lake game. Which is kind of interesting. You know, I guess Mike Pecky and what he's doing out there in Utah. I mean, you know, they could be pretty good this year, and so if they are kind of good, and I think it's after a long stretch of away games, so you know the demand will return there as well. So
I think it's smart because they want those games to be 70,000 plus every single game.
Right. And what's the other game? I'm trying to remember. It's is it Orlando?
It's got to be Orlando, right? My question is...
It's not Orlando.
How many games is it going to have the roof open? Because that was dope.
Yeah.
That was cool. I want to see that. That was really awesome.
Yeah. They said that it wouldn't be... Like, I think Doug Robertson of AJC tweeted this out, and it wouldn't be every game. There would be a handful, and so... you know, if there's more of them that require it, then great.
I mean, if we have beautiful weather and it's like perfect day, just bang the roof open. I'm actually okay if it rains a little bit. That'd be kind of cool. Just a little bit of the drizzle on the players.
Possibly.
Not a lot, like a little. I mean,
I'm not sure of the drainage system at the Benz, so but we'll find out. I mean, they water it anyway though, so I mean, cool. It has to be.
It was so cool when the roof was open. But, I mean, that's why you made a roof that opens like a camera lens, right? To actually open it instead of it being broken and never using it.
Absolutely. There were whispers about a leak and stuff like that, so you know I think they have some things and kinks that they need to work out, but beyond that, like making it work on a consistent basis as well. I mean, I think they cut down the time from 15 to 8 already, so you know, so 18 or 15 minutes to 8 minutes is really good. Yeah, like that's you know.
I love to be in the stadium and watch it just go.
Oh, for sure.
I think it'd be pretty dope to watch it actually.
Yeah, I think we've probably all seen the you know aerial shots of it opening and closing, and that's like awesome.
What if you know, so like when they start doing like the Game of Thrones theme song or something, if they started playing the Game of Thrones theme song and the roof started opening, I'd just be like, whoa,
but that's the thing.
So dope.
I think they would definitely open it before everybody gets in, because if it's happening during the game and it only happens opens like
before
halfway
the game,
or something.
like before the game, just have it just open when everyone's there, like during something cool, and everyone be like, that is sick. I think it'd be really cool, just like as a pregame thing. It'd be so cool.
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, so I mean, I think it'll expand beyond 4 games of max capacity. I think it's gonna be pretty fluid because, I mean, I think they're just kind of hedging their bets.
Which is smart.
Yeah, they want you know, they want to see the demand there first, because you know it's still like it's a first year franchise. Like they saw what had happened, you know, during the first season, but in terms of the second season, you never know. And so you know, why subject yourself to that if you know you don't need to? And so
fair enough.
You know, it's I think it's a perfect amount until we find out how many more.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm cool with it. And our USL team has finally had their name announced, and it's Atlanta United 2. Which I'm cool with, because we made the original video and they announced that I wanted to stay the same, use the same kits, maybe throw a different shirt sponsor on there if you can do it. But like it keeps it. I think Darren Neal said it very well when he's like, it's a stepping stool, it's all part of the same pipeline. Got cool, hot, you know, paraphrasing basically. You know, it talks about all being one club and everything moving through it, and I like that because it's like you're already playing for Atlanta United, you're not playing for the, I don't know, Gwinnett Stripers. That's what the baseball team is. But it's just like, I don't know. I like the idea of like the minor league team having the same name because it keeps it all like, you don't get confused, you know?
Although there might be people that do get confused.
That's true. Like I don't know. For me, it's just like, you know,
and that's why they changed, you know, from Gwinnett Braves
to the whatever they are, Stripers.
Yeah, so,
I mean, I get the point, but it's like for me, it's like I like the idea of academies and reserve teams are all part of the same club, have the same name, have the same colors, so the players already have that badge and they know what it means to play for that before they get to the first team. It's ingrained in them from, you know, every level that you play your heart out for that badge, and I like that. And so I'm excited about it, and it doesn't mean I have to buy any merchandise. I can still wear my red and black and gold there. and we're all supporting the same team, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if they change the actual badge of it?
And it might just drop a little 2 on. I guess they put the 2 there.
Yeah, and they sell more merchandise. Maybe they get a different shirt sponsor.
I can tell you that there's no merchandise for it in the team store right now, and I have no idea if we're getting any.
Yeah.
So,
but
we'll see.
Yeah, and so I mean, me personally, I think it's a fine name. I neither love it nor hate it, but it's one of those, like, it's good enough for what we're going to do. Like, the main point of it is to develop the youngsters, and to if they are good enough on a regular basis to get into like USL playoffs and et cetera, then great. But the main point of it is to develop the youth. And we get 3 free vouchers to 3 games. Can't beat that. Yeah, I'm gonna go see them play.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I love to see Carlton play, and those guys play against grown men.
Exactly.
Not a bunch of other kids their age, because you're
Yeah,
going to learn better
for their trade. Yeah.
When you're playing against people who make their living playing, it's different than playing for kids who are in an academy.
Exactly.
So I think that experience will be invaluable to them. I think it'll be, I think it'll be real positive, and that it's still here in Atlanta.
Right,
really.
and they could still train with the likes of Miguel Almiron, with Leandro Gonzalez Perez, and maybe against keepers like Brad Guzan. Like that's
so they're going against people who are better than people to be playing against, but they'll still be able to practice and learn against people who are better than them, which will make them better.
Exactly.
Which will help our very, very good and thriving youth academy that we're incredibly committed to developing and having players come through and play for the first team.
Exactly.
That we apparently don't do. I think it's a perfect segue, actually, to go into our next topic.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, with those people that maybe saw this on the internet, this article, I don't think we should really name it by name. You can check it out in the description below if you really want to check it out. But it was an article that was maybe a little ill-advised, but was written and said that essentially, is Atlanta United and MLS to blame for the U.S. men's national team's failure?
Yeah, that's a load of bollocks, mate.
Yeah.
I think the article, it was very interesting because it pointed out the fact that United only played youth players for 4 minutes last season, which is crazy to believe that Andrew Carlton didn't make more appearances as a 16-year-old past the likes of, I don't know, Joseph Martinez or Tito Villalba, who won Goal of the Year, or Miguel Almiron, who won Newcomer of the Year, or Julian Russell, who won Rookie of the Year, or Assad, who had 13 assists. It's like, I wonder why they didn't play, because there were players who were 5, 6, 7 years older than them, who are full professionals that are better. That's how clubs work. When you're 16, you get better, and then you play. It's not like, oh, he's 16, let's have him play because we don't care about it if we win games, or how he's going to develop, because if you throw them in there too soon, they lose confidence, they get beat up, and they might lose their love of the game. You don't put players out there if they're not ready.
Yeah.
So,
and there's also this. I mean, it's like to blame LA United for not developing youth or whatever.
We've been around for 1 season.
Well, yeah. I mean, our youth system has been around a couple years, and our youth program,
really good.
Our under 16s and 17s won the national championship. So it's like, what more do you want from us? And beyond that, to put blame onto a first-year franchise. For the failures of, this is systemic U.S. men's national team problems that have, barely anything to do with
I find it hard to believe that a team in its first season that started in April was responsible for the team not beating Trinidad in a 6-month period.
Exactly.
I mean, a team that started in March. I don't know why I said April. But it's just why that... No, no. I think the
correlation is not there.
And I think, look how the training facility they built, all the money they've invested, they clearly are committed to developing young players.
Exactly.
But the team hasn't been around long enough to bring the young players through because the young players aren't old enough to be brought through yet.
Right.
So now, 5, 6, 7 years from now, if Carlton never plays, or if these other players, which there's many talented players that I think we all expect will be coming into the first team picture, and we'll get to see them in the USL this year. Then you can blame them. But it's right now, how it just blows my mind how it's dartboard. Atlanta United, their fault.
Yeah, it's because, you know, some would say that we're the darlings of MLS right now because, yeah, we had a great season to start it off and
play the most attractive football of anyone else in the league.
And, you know, there's a big, like, you know, there's a lot of momentum and, you know, there's probably the most eyeballs on this team in the league. You know, and it's ever growing every single day. So, you know, I think for that article, it was probably ill-advised because, well, they wanted to, you know, get people to go to their article. And that's, you know, it's a perfectly good reason for them, but in terms of how well-researched the article was or if it made, like, good points, not so sure. Yeah, it's,
not so much.
Yeah, and so, you know, I would just probably say, you know, research it again, rewrite the article.
Don't blame us. It's not our fault.
Exactly.
It's really not.
It's,
I mean, besides, I honestly, with how good Carlton looked at the U17 World Cup, I expect that guy to be banging in goals and dashing out assists in the next couple seasons. And I think he'll get some. I think he'll get. No, it was the U17 World Cup. For the
that as well.
Out
Yes.
in India.
Yeah,
he balled out. Like he played
true,
really well there.
Yeah,
and
I still remember that through ball.
Yeah,
holy crap.
It's just like he's incredibly talented, and I think you'll see him. I think depending on how he plays at the USL level, I think you could definitely see him making some first team appearances this year. You know, just kind of ease him on in.
Exactly.
I mean, he's a really talented player, but right now, is he going to play ahead of Almiron? No. Is he going to play ahead of Vijalba? No. Is he going to play ahead of Gressel? No. Is he going to play ahead of whoever else we bring in?
And he arguably could have played more last season if it hadn't been for, you know, the national championship run and for the World Cup stuff.
I mean, like, I think he definitely could have been involved at the end of the season, except he was in India playing for the U.S. men's national team.
Exactly. Yeah, and so, you know, if it wasn't Gressel, it probably would have been Carlton. Like, that would have spelled, you know, Assad and other people some more minutes so that they wouldn't have been so gassed in the last game. Yeah, it all could have been, you know, it's a barreling action.
Exactly. So, I mean,
It's, you know, we'll move on to the next topic, which is everyone's favorite. It's Barco Watch. And the saga still hasn't ended. But, you know, we're still talking about it, but it might have finally reached a boiling point. And Atlanta United they are essentially putting up a, you know, take it or leave it type of stance. And so, you know, it's a, is Independiente going to just free Barco or not? You know, we're filming this on a Thursday. We're supposed to find out apparently pretty soon. If we find out, then, well, you know,
yay!
We're screwed tonight, but
yay! I mean, it's always we're gonna have one of these probably every single season, and it's probably gonna be the exact opposite with Almiron from the end of the season, or even this summer possibly, because you got to think that's when most teams make their moves, you know, in Europe, around the world. If he has a fantastic start to his season and balls out, then there's a good possibility that your bigger teams in Europe are going to be coming in from in the summer, which is going to be worse because obviously it's the middle of our season and we're going to be in the exact same position. So I think, especially when you have a club that has high expectations and wants to bring in these young players and has stated they want to bring young players in, develop, and then sell them. So we're probably going to have a lot of the same when it comes to players leaving, which is going to be awful because clearly we love these players,
especially during a season. But you know, we had at least for 2 transfer windows, we were essentially we bought the rights to negotiate with Lucas Rodriguez. You know, and so that's another player that could replace Miguel Almiron if he goes, or anybody else if they go, as they play similar positions. And, you know, if it is a Miguel Almiron that goes, you know, it could be another saga. And I think we need to get used to this. Because it's actually kind of a good thing.
It's exhausting, but I mean, at least we're, you know, I guess it's really our first big taste of an actual transfer saga for Atlanta United. And I think, you know, that's just the nature of football, and I think we're going to have to get used to it. It's just, it's a nightmare because, you know, you want it to be done, but
it shows the ambition of Atlanta United that they're going after, you know, talent to really bolster, you know, the playing prowess of the team. And so should be viewed as a good thing, even though it might be kind of
incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, but You know, the fact that we learned that, you know, in terms of the transfer fees, you know, it's 15 million, which is really actually pretty, you know, in between. Yeah, because initially we offered 12, they countered with 20, then it became 24. To meet at 15 is pretty much still more on our end, which is good. And then, you know, there were future sale percentages, the rights to the players and stuff like that. And essentially what they're stuck up on right now is that it's 30%. Initially, Atlanta United offered 30% for the first 2 years for a future sale. After that, we wouldn't have, you know, 30% would just go away. But Independiente, they were like, how can we go back and forth again on this and go, how about 30% for 5 years?
Yeah, piss off.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Like,
I mean,
absolutely not.
If we like work the numbers just a little bit.
I don't.
It's
30% is stupid. Like, that is a stupid amount for someone to pay. Like, no, you know, like, no, I don't.
Some players are, you know, they have sell-on percentages of like 25% in Europe and stuff like that too. So, you know, it's not too crazy. It's, you know, just a little bit more.
I think the issue is that 5 years, because it's like, we're basically saying if you ever sell him, we want 30%, and it's like, I guess from their part, it makes it safe because they're gonna get money regardless. But at the same time, it's like,
you get it from there.
30% is a bunch of money, though. I mean, it's like, all right, dream scenario for me is he turns out to be a fantastic young player, and he spends a year, maybe 2 with Atlanta United, and hopefully 2 if he's banging in goals, but if not, you know, it is what it is. And so it's like, then you have a big boy in Europe come in, based on today's market, he'd be probably 40 to 50 million pounds, and it's like, 30% of that is a lot of money considering how transfers work in MLS. So I think my biggest issue is I understand how teams in Europe have that, but the problem is right now with the MLS rules in general, they take what, 10-15% off the top as well, and so then you lose another 30%.
Now that might change in the future, but in terms of right now, I mean
that's why 30% bothers me, because you already lose a lot to MLS, and then you lose 30% more, and then it's just like, great, we still have a lot of money, but it's like we can't use it all, and we could have had a lot more. And I think that's the part for me that irritates me, is because it's not just the 30%, it's the MLS cut, and it's, you can only reinvest X amount in the game and TAM, and it's just I'm not trying to lose money because of MLS rules. And I think really MLS rules, if those rules went away, then I wouldn't care about 30%, because I think he's a really good player. Clearly he has the mental fortitude to play at a high level. Clearly he's got the skills. Clearly he's got the talent. And I think he'd be fantastic in the team. And it's just frustrating to no end. Just figure it out. Just end it, please, whether he plays or not, so we can just move on.
Right. And you know, it might end this week. It might end
never.
Yeah, exactly.
Never. Somehow
let's
it's
hope
like
it doesn't come to that.
At the end of Barco's career, he's gonna be relinked to Atlanta United as like a 35-year-old player, and I'm just gonna be like, I hate everything.
I hope I never see that that day, unless, you know, it's he's already here, and then, you know, he does so well for us and he becomes a legend and he's wanting to come back. Then sure,
cool,
in that
I'm down
scenario,
with that. Yeah, great, because then we know who'd be coming back. But just Independiente, sort yourselves out.
Yeah.
Anybody who likes Independiente talks to him and watches this video, which I don't imagine, sort it out, please. Drive me mental.
It's been absolutely frustrating.
You're not winning the Libertadores. It's not happening. I hate to break it to you. You're not winning it.
Yeah.
So just give up on that dream. You can't pay your players. You're not signing anyone. Just free Barco. Just take the money that we're giving you now. You need it.
So, you know, we'll give it to you. We'll let you pose the question of the day for the viewers. What do you think you want to ask them?
For me, it'd be, are you okay with 30% over 5 years for Barco? I am not a fan, but at the same time, if it gets that man 5 stripes and the red and black, I want it to be done, and I want him playing in MBS next season. And I want the money from him in 3 years when he absolutely just is scoring goals and getting assists left, right, and center like I think he will. And then maybe 30% of a lot of money won't be that big of a deal.
All right, so, you know, we asked you then, do you guys like 30% for 5 years, or do you not? Let us know in the comments below.
Hashtag 5Stripe Weekly.
And guys, if you haven't checked out our top 5 series yet, we go through all our favorite moments of 2017, and you can check it out right above. Yeah.
And also, if you guys enjoyed our more podcasts laid back, we didn't really plan this out and just kind of riffed and talked to you guys about everything Atlanta United. I enjoyed it because it's less focused. You know, we're just talking about something that we love, and I think we all love it. And I think that's the best part, is just being able to just kick back and talk about a team that you know, we're excited about and it's doing big things.
For sure.
And hopefully, within the next week or two, or like tomorrow, we can talk about Ezequiel Barco either being on the 5 stripes or who we're getting that's not him.
Definitely. And so that's it for us today. If you like the video, please smash a like for us. Subscribe if you haven't. And we appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And we'll see you in the next video.